Shalom, coming in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and to the hopeful elect pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. This lesson is going to be titled, Heathenist Nations Are Dogs, right? Or the ones outside of the temples are dogs. But basically, we're going to talk about, being at that dog state of mind, right? When the Most High refers to you as a dog, why does that happen, right? Why is he referred to these people in the scriptures, whether it's Yahweh or Yahushai, referred to these people as dogs? So, dog, quadruped, quadruped of the genus Canis. Dogka, a late, rare word. That's not what I'm looking for. Okay, here we go. 12th century, an abuse or contempt as mean, worthless fellow, currish, sneaking scoundrel, rakish man, especially if young, a sport, a gallant, slang meaning ugly woman, sexually aggressive man. So basically in the 12th century, it was referred to as worthless fellow, right? Seems like the definition has changed a lot, but yeah. So, because when you get called a dog, it's not a compliment, right? It's not a compliment at all. So Deuteronomy 7:3, neither shall thou make marriages with them, thy daughter, and it's talking to Adam. It's talking about Israel, most importantly, right? It's about Israel, and it's giving the commandments to Israel, saying anyone outside of Israel, you don't marry you can't marry your children, your daughters to them, or any, etc., right? So it's going to go into that. Neither shall thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, right? So basically, you don't give your children unto the other nations in marriage, right? Because then you'll start to serve their gods. And then if they serve their gods, they turn away from Yahweh. If they turn away from Yahweh, that's going to cause big problems, because Yahweh is a jealous power, right? That they may serve other gods, so will the anger of the Lord Yahweh be kindled against you. So if you do that, if you married your son or your daughter to man or woman of the other nation, Most High's anger will be turned against you, because he told you not to do that, right? And destroy these suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them. Ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. Right? For thou art an holy people unto the Lord Yahweh, thy power. The Lord thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth, right? So that's Israel. And you look what he said previously to that last scripture, or last verse. He said to destroy their images, destroy their altars, because it's worthless. It doesn't mean anything, right? So he's already showing you that you're different, right? Israel's different to the other nations. They're special against the other nations, right? They're holy against the other nations, right? They're special people and a holy people unto Yahweh, right? So if that's the case, that everyone outside of Israel, they're worthless, right? Because it's just that simple. So yeah, he's a racist. Everyone has that question. He is a racist, and rightly so. 2 Ezra 6:54. And after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. So who has he chosen? People of Israel, right? They came from Adam. All this I have spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes. Talking about Israel. This world is made for Israel. As for the other people, which also came out of Adam, remember, other nations came out of Adam too, thou hast said that they are nothing. So, right? They are nothing. Right? So these other nations that also are here on the planet Earth, right? They're like, oh, we all came from one man, Adam. That's true. We all came from Adam, but there's different nations, different bloodlines, right? Just because we all came from Adam doesn't mean we're all the same people, right? We're all humans, yeah, because we all came from the ground, but we're not all Israelites, okay? As for other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said that they are nothing, but be like unto spittle, and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel. So like that little drop of water that falls into a bottle when you're, that's what the other nations are referred to as. Okay? They're nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because they're not, most I didn't pick them. It's just that simple. Verse 57, and now, O Lord, behold, these heathen, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us. And that's happening right now, right? We're on the bottom, and everyone else is on the top, starting with Esau, Edom, right? The Most High looks at these nations, these other nations outside of Israel, as nothing. Which is why when he comes with his son, he's going to send his son, Yahushua, he's going to destroy everything. And put his son back in power, right? Back in power where he rightfully is supposed to be as a ruler of everything, right? And also, you want to look at this also, it says right here in verse 54, and after these Adam also whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, that's Yahushua. Hence why when he, as it is in the beginning, as it will be in the end. In the beginning, he was Lord of all creatures. At the end, he's Lord of all creatures, right? That's why it's the same person, Yahushua. But that'd be too much food. So now we're gonna go to, don't lose my track. We're gonna go to Matthew. Matthew 7:6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs, neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Right? So basically, you're not supposed to give things to people that are beneath you. Right? Heathens, most definitely. But even goes further, the 2/3. Right? The 2/3 of Israel, at this point, now they're with the heathens. It's because they're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. So as we continue, you're going to see if you don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, the Most High refers to you as a dog also. So that's why the 2/3 and other nations are going to be destroyed. Right? Because if the Most High didn't refer to the 2/3 as dogs, he would save them. But they're not going to be saved. They're going to be destroyed, and they're going to come back through the elect. Right? 144,000. Right? And they're going to be come back as kids in the rightfully state of mind, and they're going to be following law, statutes, and commandments. In that time, they won't be dogs anymore because they'll be doing what they're supposed to be doing. Right? So now we're going to go to Revelation 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. I was just talking about this. For without are dogs. So if you're not following the law, statute, commandments, right, you are referred to as a dog. So that includes the 2/3, which is why I said that. And sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and idolaters, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. Right? And 2/3 are doing the same thing as the heathens. Right? So that's why they fall into this category as dogs. Right? But in the beginning, it was just other nations. Because back then, we were actually following the laws. But, the falling away happened. And then, we started going off. So that's why it has to be a great reset that's going to happen. So now we're going to go to Ezra 9. Oh, slack. Ezra 9. Now when these things were done, the princes... Let me make sure this is the right one. Yeah. Slack. Ezra 9 and 1. Now when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel and the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the lands, doing according to their abominations, even of the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves. And we just read earlier they told like they got a commandment from the Most High to not take their daughters for themselves, to not marry them. But look what they did. And what happened? What he says is going to happen if they marry their daughters, right? Or they give their sons unto their daughters, or they give their daughters unto their sons. They're going to turn them away from the Most High. And what did he say he's going to do? He said he's going to destroy them suddenly. For they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. Yea, the hand of the princes and rulers have been chief in this trespass. Right? So that's why, he went off. We didn't listen. And we're going to go to 12. Now therefore give not your daughters unto their sons, neither take their daughters unto your sons, nor seek their peace or their wealth forever, that ye may be strong and eat the good of the land and leave it for inheritance to your children forever. Right? That's what we're supposed to do. But we didn't do that. So Psalms 59. Oh, slack. Missed one. I'm going to go to Isaiah 56 and 10. Isaiah 56 and 10. His watchmen are blind, they are all ignorant, they are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Right? So that's why I said now you can add the 2/3 into that. Because the 2/3, they have watchmen, right? They think they're watchmen, but they're actually blind watchmen. They lead all the other 2/3 into destruction. Right? And on outside of that, you have the heathens who think they're priests and prophets doing the same exact thing. Right? They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. If you look at these prophets, these false prophets, these other false camps, right? They're greedy. So they're in it for the money. Right? They're not in it to lead people to the righteous path. Because they would give them the truth. And they wouldn't be asking for collections and all this type of stuff, to buy their jets and, all this type of stuff, their mansions, their cars, right? So they're just in it for the money. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one for his gain from his quarter, right? Just said that. So now we're going to go to Psalm 22 and 16. Psalm 22 and 16. This is David talking, King David. For dogs have compassed me, the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. They pierced my hands and feet. So right there he says, for dogs have compassed me, right? Now, this is not actually what happened to David. This is Yahushai, what happened to Yahushai, right? When he got crucified, because he was compassed around dogs. And remember, there were Israelites there, right? You had the people that condemned him to be crucified. And then you had the Roman soldiers, right? So for dogs have compassed me. So he was compassed by dogs, right? And the people that crucified him. And the assembly of the wicked have enclosed me. So you got the assembly of the wicked. All those 2/3 that told, Pontius Pilate to crucify Yahushai, right? They pierced my hands and feet. I may tell all my bones. They look and stare upon me. They part my garments among them and cast lots upon my vesture. But be not thou far from me, O Lord, O my strength, has thee to help me. Deliver my soul from the sword. And who's the sword? Esau, Edom, right? On top of it, it said right there, dogs in the verse, and the wicked. So Esau, Edom is the sword, and also the wicked, right? My darling, from the power of the dog. From the power of the dog. So the main top dog is Esau, right? Because Esau is the sword, right? So that's a deep breakdown. But yeah, it's referring to Yahweh Shai because this never happened to David. David was never got pierced in his where does it say right here? And then King David never got pierced in his hands and his feet. So obviously it's not talking about King David. Right? The only person that got pierced in his hands and his feet is Yahweh Shai. Right? So a lot of stuff was revealed in that. So now we can go to Psalms 59 and 5. Thou therefore, O Lord, power of hosts, the power of Israel, awake to visit all the heathen, be not merciful to any wicked transgressor. Salah. Right? So right there you can see, so if you transgress against the law, you're referred to as a heathen. Right? So that's one, the 2/3. Right? And then you have other nations to refer to as dogs also, but right, it's talking about the 2/3. They return at even, they make a noise like a dog and go around about the city. Right? It's always coming back to referring to as a dog. Right? And other nations do this. They're the wicked transgressors. But like I said, the 2/3 is now accompanied with them. Revelation 18. Revelation 18 and 2. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, which is America, is fallen, and is become the habitations of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And it says all the nations, which is including Israel. That's why you have the 2/3. They also drank of that wine. Right? And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. Right? And then the last one, since this is happening, there's only one thing left to do that Yahweh Shai is going to come to do. Because what did the Most High say earlier about what happens when you give your sons and your daughters to the heathens? They're going to turn their way. They're basically going to be turned away from Yahweh. And what he says he's going to do when that happens, he's going to destroy you suddenly. So it's going to be a sudden destruction. And in the scriptures, it talks about Yahweh Shai coming to the thief in the night, which is very quick, it's very sudden, out of nowhere. So that destruction, he's going to send his son to do it. Right? And this has all been a build-up. Right? Which is why it talks about seeking him when he may be found, because there's a chance for you to repent and get the mercy. But once those doors close, that's it. Then the sudden destruction is going to come. But he's talked about this in almost 2,000 years ago that was going to happen. Right? So Zechariah 12 and 9, and it shall come to pass in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem. Right? And Jerusalem is referring to, you can say the New Jerusalem, which is the elect. Right? So whoever was against the elect, against Yahweh Shai, are going to be destroyed, which is everyone else, the 2/3 and the other nations, because they're all referred to as dogs. Right? So I hope that lesson was edifying to the hopeful elect. The point has been made. I'd like to close out by saying, Kal halal Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakal Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and to the hopeful elect, pushing his word in truth and sincerity across the four corners of the earth. Death and destruction to his wicked kingdom, and the 2/3 as well. Kwam Yasharallah, Abad Babal, Shalom.